Welcome to On the Couch, and on this episode, we'll be discussing homies, the bromance, your besties. But before we continue, let's open with a word of prayer. Thank you, Jesus, for sparing us to see another episode of On the Couch. Thank you for family, thank you for besties, thank you for a good friend circle. This is my prayer in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Welcome, guys. The team is back. We have everybody in
So
the
nice
studio.
to be back.
So, this week is homies.
Besties.
Romances.
Yeah. So tell me, why is your friend circle or your circle of friends so important?
Well,
To you, why is it so
friendship
important?
circles, in my context,
Yes.
I need that for that boost and
Yeah.
to just throw ideas around and bounce it off, each
Yeah.
other. That's one. Other is like the social dynamic.
Yeah.
Because I live alone, it helps,
Yeah.
to fill that
Interact.
time, that interaction when I'm not busy.
Yeah.
The other thing is like you need good friendships to guide your thinking sometimes, or even just to be there.
Yeah.
It's simple as that. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
doesn't need so much explanation.
Yeah.
Like I've got a few besties,
Okay.
and sometimes they just rock up when
Uninvited.
and yeah.
Just like walk through the door, I'm here.
But and then
Yeah.
suddenly sometimes they just order pizza, whatever. We just
Yeah.
eat together. We go somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the best unplanned,
Yeah.
and those just give you those small fulfillments that one needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, the ones that just phone you up and say, start the fire, we're on our way.
Yes, I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, Tracy?
They are really important. I don't want to say especially for females, but we look for that. We chatty people. We bounce ideas off of
Gossip.
someone. Not gossip. It's just
Okay,
it's
maybe
someone who connection, definitely.
Connection.
Who builds you up. You run things by that person. They have to be trustworthy.
Yeah. So when you gossip, they don't tell anybody else.
Exactly.
So,
Bible says don't gossip.
No.
Just FYI.
so as why a good friend circle is important is, as they mentioned, all of these, but there's a saying that goes, show me your friends and I'll show you your future.
We'll show you who you are.
Yeah, so by the people you associate with,
Yeah.
we can see who you are.
Yeah.
Because I read some interesting things and some stats. Don't quote me on the numbers, but it's plus minus. Can't exactly remember because I saw it on a little clip, and it talks about high performers. But we can also use this in a friend context. I think there is a connection there. So, if you in a workplace or university or school, anything like that, if you are surrounded by high performers or top performers, automatically, without doing anything, you changing anything, you will perform 15% more. Like your performance will go up by 15%.
Wow. So that means that you kind of take on that energy, or
Yes,
you get influenced
That
so
top
much.
performance kind of rub off on you, and
Yeah.
that's why they also say, that's why I said the quote, show me your friends and show me your future.
Yeah.
So if your friends are broke
So what do you say?
and jobless, that means you would possibly also be that way.
I must associate myself with more well-off people then.
Yeah, you have to choose your friends wisely because they have an impact on your life,
Okay.
of your future, of where you're going.
Mm.
But then they also did this experiment where they put this person or people with, for lack of a better word, losers, like rotten apples.
How did that go?
And then their performance dropped by 30%.
That's a lot.
So like the saying goes, the rotten apple spoils the whole bunch.
Yeah.
So that's why bad friends or a bad friend circle has a greater impact on you than that's what you realize.
The saying that says bad company corrupts.
Yes.
And which is what you said now, it's 15% to the top when you associate with good people, and then 30% downward.
It's double.
Oh, that's
It's
crazy.
double. But
Do you mind me sharing this verse actually
Go for
related
it.
to what you're saying?
Yeah.
Taken from Ecclesiastes chapter 2, and it says here, two are better than one. Why? Because they have good reward for their work or their labor or what they do. But then it says, for when they fall, one will lift the other one up, the companion up.
yeah.
But woe, or the warning is to the one who is alone if he falls. For if one falls, then there's no one to help him up. And again, if two lay down together, they keep warm. But how can one be warm alone? Though one may be overpowered by another, two can withstand him. So it's just the whole idea of you're better together,
Yeah.
you're stronger together
In a part.
than apart. And I'm not
Yeah.
talking in terms of couples or
Yeah.
we're talking about in terms of friendships.
Yeah.
You know.
There's also a saying that says, no man is an island.
Yeah.
No matter how much you think I can do this alone, you need people.
So are you telling me it's about the amount of friends that you have?
No, I wouldn't say the amount. I'm
Okay,
talking about the
okay.
quality of friends. You can have
Ah.
a small circle with quality people.
Then
It's going to be better than a big circle with like mediocre people. Not judging anybody, but this is just, you know.
it is. I guess
Yeah.
we stated from the start.
Yeah.
Good quality
Yes.
gives good influence.
It's
But
very
also
important.
they say that there's a lot of health benefits for you in terms of having friends and friendships. It reduces your risk of heart attack, stroke, diabetes. Yeah.
Yeah. Physical effects on your body by having a good friend circle. But the other thing is, when I saw this topic and when I read it to myself, there's a verse that came to mind, and that is Proverbs 18, verse 24, I think.
Let me just get there quickly. 18 verse.
24.
Oh no, I'm 19, 24. A man who has friends must himself be friendly, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother.
Yeah. There's a friend that sticks closer than a brother. That was ringing in my head when I heard or when I seen the planning the topic or the show for today. But then the interesting part was a man who has friends has to be friendly himself. So that is also
So then I guess we have to define like what is a good friend then. You know, like what would you say is a good friend?
so a good friend to me would be a good listener.
Okay.
Because if I get excited, I talk a lot.
You do?
You know, like just a little bit. Or sometimes I don't feel like talking at all.
Yeah.
And then it's
You just need that moment there.
yeah. Then we need to balance each other out. Then when I don't feel like talking, it's your turn.
Oh.
You know. But that's how it goes. Maybe I'm having a bad day or a bad thing or something is bothering me, and I can be like, hey, let me tell you this, and then I'll feel better. That's the main part is how I feel with our interactions. Because sometimes you interact with people and you feel like, I feel so drained, or I feel like I'm just drained. That took a lot, that interaction. And then there's some interactions where you're like, wow, I was so tired, but after talking to this person, I feel like, hey, I've got energy and
Energize.
all of these things. So that's the kind of, I would think is important to me, that feeling I get when I interact with somebody. Yeah.
I just want to link to that as well. I mean, Tracy, I don't know if you maybe have something there, but while you maybe looking or thinking about it, I feel that I'm attracted to people that match my energy.
Yeah.
Like that give you something and that you can take away with
Yeah.
to learn from, and that like you're saying, I'm piggybacking on what you're saying, but then the fruits of the spirit. I think that's one of the key qualities: kindness, gentleness, self-control. Those things. I'm not saying that they're going to be perfect. I'm not saying that they're going to get it right all the time. You know, we're going to have these little differences, and that's why, you know, you've got the guidance of Matthew 18 that how you should go about when you have a dispute or settling an argument. But generally, if that governs our relationship, we're going to get along quite well. And I guess those kind of friendships are different to the worldly friendships.
Yeah.
You know, those kind of worldly friendships you'd find they're clustered together when we're going to drink together.
Yeah.
They're
Common
going to-
interest.
common interest, exactly. That's what
Yeah.
joins
Birds of
a
a
friendship.
feather. Birds of a feather.
Exactly. But when that love is united in Christ,
Yeah.
it's easier for you to be with one another. And even when it's difficult,
Yeah.
like having those difficult conversations or saying something that you're not necessarily wanting to hear, but you need to hear it, I think that's where it's real. And we need to be, we need to be sensitive, but we need to have those kind of friendships, I guess, in our society.
Yeah.
Because we find that there's a lot of, it's okay to be fake in this life.
Yeah.
And when we need more genuine connections to build us up and not to break us down.
So
You know, like that jealousy, because that's kind of the traits-
frenemies.
Yeah. That's what kind of Satan
Yeah.
lead towards, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, I want to be like God, and then he was actually jealous, you
Yeah.
know, and then
Yeah.
we fall, and then now it comes to Jesus, and he's like, you know, manipulating him.
Yeah.
I think that's the opposite kind of friendships that we need to have.
Yeah.
You know.
So, if you look at your own life, would you say a few years ago or when you were younger, say primary school, high school, and after leading up to this age you are now, would you say your friends have changed?
Sure.
And is there friends that you still speak to or you don't over the years? Or is there one or two that like stuck with you since you grew up? Or is there friends that you just outgrew? Either one. Think about it. If you can't answer.
Well, for me, if I go first, mine has changed all the time. It's
Yeah.
weird because I've been from one place to another.
Yeah.
Like I was in Springbok, and then I was in Cape Town, and then I went to Mohammedsbury, Swartland area,
Yeah.
and I came back to Cape Town, and I was at Helderberg, and I was at Paul Boys High, having friends, same friends that I had then, was not necessarily the friends that I have now.
Yeah.
Circumstantial, yes, some of it, but also leaning towards the things of God. Like,
Yeah.
and I think those are the strongest friendships that I've maintained, as those that lean towards godly things. And I don't know, they've become my best friends. Yeah,
And they still are.
yeah, and then still are, and still are.
Yeah. Casey?
As you get older, I feel like your priorities change, and some, you know, your friendships or your friends aren't necessarily at that same level,
Yeah,
and then it's okay to just move on.
So you're saying, so I would say almost outgrowing your friends.
Yeah, and that's okay sometimes.
And they change and they're only there for a season.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a reason why that person came into your life and
yeah,
now that purpose, they have fulfilled their purpose.
Yeah.
And you have learned your lesson from what
From
you had
the
to learn
interaction.
and now you're moving on.
But also, we're talking about what we want in a friend. What kind of friend are we? Because that also carries a lot of power because we influence our friends.
absolutely.
So it's also just something to think about.
Yeah,
That's a good question. So to the friendship table. If you have to think of yourself, what do you think you bring? What kind of friend are you?
I'm a good listener.
that's a difficult.
Okay.
It is a difficult question because you really need to.
Yeah, how well do you know yourself?
Sometimes you also need to think about. Sometimes there's uncomfortable situations or conversations that you feel you need to have, and I need to sit a bit for that one because it takes a lot because you don't know how this person is going to react,
Yeah.
and it might ruin a friendship. So it can become tricky sometimes if you want a good friendship and you want to be honest and also want that person to grow.
So here's the okay, I know it's slightly okay, still on the friendship topic. Can you be too honest with your friends? The friends that you have now in your life. Can you be honest with them or do you have to like just lightly sprinkle the honesty on your story when you tell them things or something that happened? You know they're gonna get upset, right?
Insulting people.
Yeah, just lightly season the story. You're telling them what happened, but you're just not telling them like full honesty.
Well, if it's a good friend of yours, you would know them well enough to know how to sprinkle something on them. How much of the sprinkles can they handle at a time?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to know how to, like you said, to gently ease into it, or is it that frame then you can be like, bam,
Boom.
Yeah.
this is the real truth. Face it, or do whatever you want to.
You
with
tell
it,
the
like,
truth. It's like the drop the mic moment. You tell
But-
the truth and you walk out.
But some people have that ability to like force that opinion on someone.
Yeah.
And I think that's not where your friendship should be. It should be like, I suggest to you, you can do with it what you want to.
Yeah.
But these are the consequences if you take this action path A or path B,
Yeah.
you know. And yeah, it's not easy always to hear
Yeah.
it. But what I appreciate of it, I go and think about it afterwards, and then it resonates with me.
Yeah.
You know, if someone says that, and then I think, oh, there's some merit to what they said.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it was hurt. I was hurt when I said it, but it makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
And then I love them even more for it. It's
Yeah.
weird, but really awesome.
Coming back to Tracy's question.
Yeah.
So I can say one thing about each of you.
Whoa.
It just as you were speaking, it popped into my mind. So I can say
So
one thing.
we're gonna do this.
I don't know
now.
if I'm
Yeah.
ready
One
for
thing,
this.
one thing about each of you, like that pops into my mind, like the first thing.
Okay.
So I'll start with the ladies first. So Tracy, I would think yes, you're a good listener, but to me, you're always feeding me.
I'm always feeding you.
Yeah, yeah. Did
Because
you
you're
eat?
happier
Do
once
you
you've
want-
eaten.
Do you want something warm to drink or like yeah, that's you, and are you comfortable? Sit down, don't leave. Stay a little bit more, 5 more minutes. That is you enjoy the company.
Comforting.
And Ashwin is, I think, he is very genuinely concerned over you, like genuinely showing an interest. Yeah, that's what I feel like. Are you okay? Are you doing? So that's
Yeah.
what that's what I see in you. Yeah.
I try to.
Yeah.
try to.
Like, are you okay? Do you need anything?
Yeah.
Very helpful, very like, willing to help and go the extra mile, which I appreciate.
You know, that's something I've learned, like when I was at like Pick and Pay or something.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those shops. And then this lady asked, how are you? And
Yeah.
I said, no, I'm fine. She's like, how are you? Like, what is she asking me? You know, like,
Yeah.
and that made me from that day realize we just surface level check if we're okay, like
Yeah.
where we are.
Yeah.
So from then on, I'll try to make deeper connections with people.
Yeah.
So even in the Christian circle, like many people can see when you're trying to rub Christ off on them, you shove
Yeah.
them Christ.
Yeah.
But when you make a deeper connection with them,
Yeah.
they actually genuinely
Yeah.
you know, appreciate that.
You don't need to shove Christ out there.
Exactly.
You can just be a friendly Christian, a good person, genuinely interested in somebody, and that will almost your life will represent Christ. You can see Christ in you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So the other thing is, which I've noticed, like you're saying, the superficial things, the superficial, how are you? And then you're like, I'm fine, I'm okay. But how are you really?
Yeah.
So I think that's, if I think of myself now, that's my default answer. No, I'm fine, I'm okay. Yeah. Because I had a little bit of a chest infection. I was throat sick. And I think we had like an auntie over for lunch, Sabbath lunch, afternoon. And I just came out to my room and I didn't want to mix with anybody because I wasn't sure if it was flu or something like that. Just got some water or whatever. And the auntie saw me. She was like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. I'm okay.
Yeah.
And mom is like, you're not fine. Stop saying you're fine. So I just think that's almost like, I don't know, for me and I think for other people as well, we just like, no, we're fine. I'm fine, but I'm not really fine. You know, under the surface. And
Absolutely.
that's where your friend circle or your close friends will look at you but can see,
They
hey,
will know. Yeah.
you're not fine, even though you say you're fine.
Yeah.
You can pick that up. Yeah.
That's so true.
So that's
It's so
why
true.
it's so important for good friends that knows you well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, not as like superficial.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's fine. Okay, move on. You know, that kind of thing. So another benefit, I think, which is important, is good friends build your confidence and they push you to be better. Yeah. Have you ever experienced something like that in your friend circle?
Definitely.
Like,
When I need that extra boost of confidence, you just call up one of your besties and be like,
yeah,
I need that pep talk.
I'm nervous.
Right.
Yeah. Ashwin?
Those are people that are few,
Yeah.
because those encouraging people, they are they're a rare species,
Yeah.
if you could say that.
Yeah.
But when you need them, they're there. And I like to term myself as an encourager,
Yeah.
because even in my messages, sermons, and whatever, I try to be encouraging.
Yeah.
And even with the doom and gloom, there are
Yeah.
there are certain things like there's always a silver lining, that sunny side of life attitude. Kind of, if I may lean into this whole story of Peter. Peter is let me actually read it. It says that now Simon Peter stood and warmed himself. Therefore, say to him, "You are not also." Or they asked him, "Are you not also one of his disciples? Are you?" So he denied it, and he said, "I am not." One of the servants of the high priest, a relative of him whose ear Peter cut off, said, "Did I not see you in the garden with him?" And Peter denied him immediately as the rooster crowed. Now, Peter's a very funny and interesting character. You'd not think that that friendship is being developed so much, but one would think of him in the sense of the angle of him being a disciple of Christ. But Peter does something different here. His pursuit of the friendship with Christ is deeper than all the others, and that's why he's singled out, if you think about it. That's why it was such a heavy thing for him when he denied Christ, because Peter is trying to establish a deeper and better connection with Jesus. But even when he doesn't understand what he's letting himself in for, because if you think about it, he appears concerned what happens to Jesus Christ. I mean, he goes along with whatever happens to Jesus, even to the point where when Christ was going to go to the cross, he was concerned for his life. How can you go to the cross? How can you subject yourself to this? And then he shows what kind of friend he is towards Jesus. But this friendship shows the kind of friend Peter was, but more so what the friend Jesus was becoming to him. And not taking into consideration the friend who Jesus loved, or Jesus made so many friends, connections, but this was a unique one, even to the extent where he wanted to walk on water to come after God. And so that just shows the commitment of having even to want to cut off the ear of the soldier to prove the point that he's got his back, he's got Jesus' back. He is the true friend.
That's a friend right there.
I mean, I want that. Who doesn't want that kind of friend? Knowing that that's what you do for your friend. But even sometimes blindly, not understanding, not seeing the vision of what Christ was doing in it all. But then again, we can learn from that, and applying not to deny our friends even when it gets rough, when it gets tough, when things get difficult for us. To just be consistent, be there for each other.
Tracy?
You gave me a lot to think about. What kind of friend are you?
So, as the viewers are listening to us speak about friends, I hope you are thinking about your friend circle. Do you have a large friend circle? Or do you have a small friend circle? Are those people in your friend circle encouraging? Are they building? Are they giving you and feeding you energy when you are at your lowest? These are all things to think about. But as we've come to the end of another podcast, we hope you enjoyed it. Listening to us speak about friends and friendships and besties and homies and frenemies as well. So until next time, goodbye and God bless.
Hey guys, thank you so much for joining us this week. It's been awesome. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you can get all our posts. Then again, God bless and bye-bye.